Rite Aid agreed last year to sell more than 1,900 stores and 3 distribution centers to Walgreens. Christopher Gregory for The New York Times. The supermarket operator Albertsons agreed to buy the remnants of the Rite Aid drug chain on Tuesday, the latest deal to shake up a grocery industry already experiencing major upheaval. The combined company would have about 4,900 locations in 38 states and the District of Columbia, the company said. Albertsons would rebrand its in-store pharmacies under the Rite Aid name, and would continue to operate some standalone Rite Aid pharmacies. Rite Aid agreed last year to sell 1,932 stores and 3 distribution centers to Walgreens for $4.38 billion after the companies failed to complete an even bigger deal. The transaction underscores the challenges facing retailers of all kinds as consumers do more and more of their buying online, and as Amazon gobbles up a greater share of those purchases. The online giant made an aggressive push into the grocery business last year, acquiring the upscale chain Whole Foods for $13.4 billion in a deal with the potential to transform the supermarket industry in fundamental ways. Amazon is also seeking to upend the healthcare field. The company recently teamed up with Berkshire Hathaway and JP Morgan Chase to form an independent healthcare company to serve the 3 firms' employees and potentially revamp the broader industry. The business of distributing and selling medicine is undergoing major changes as well, with the nation's largest operators of pharmacies pursuing mergers aggressively to control costs and increase profits. In December, the drugstore giant CVS Health said that it would merge with the health insurer Aetna in a $69 billion deal that could reshape the way healthcare is delivered in the United States. That deal came together after a federal judge blocked Aetna's proposed merger with rival Humana last year. For its part, Rite Aid had previously sought to bulk up by merging with rival Walgreens. Negotiations between 2 of the biggest drugstore chains in the United States ended after antitrust authorities indicated they were unlikely to approve the combination. The companies settled on the smaller deal instead. Under the terms of the deal announced on Tuesday, Rite Aid shareholders would get $1.83 in cash and a share of Albertsons stock for every 10 shares of Rite Aid they own. They could also opt to get 1.079 shares of Albertsons stock for every 10 shares of Rite Aid they own. Rite Aid shareholders would own 28% to 29.6% of the combined company. Robert Miller, the chairman and chief executive of Albertsons, said in a statement that the acquisition would allow the company to provide a fully integrated one-stop shop for our customers' food, health and wellness needs. Mr. Miller would serve as chairman of the combined company and John Standley, the Rite Aid chairman and chief executive, would be chief executive. The combined company would have headquarters in Camp Hill, where Rite Aid is based, and in Boise, Idaho, Albertsons' hometown. Albertsons, whose parent is owned by a consortium of investors led by the private equity firm Cerberus Capital Management, now operates more than 1,700 in-store pharmacies. If the deal is approved by shareholders and regulators and closes in the second half of 2018 as expected, the grocery chain, which has more than 2,300 stores in 35 states and the District of Columbia under the Albertsons, Safeway and other brands, would substantially expand its geographic footprint. The Rite Aid deal is the latest transaction by Albertsons to expand its offerings to attract consumers. In November, the company reached an agreement with Instacart to provide on-demand grocery services. It also invested in El Rancho Supermercado, a Texas-based retailer focused on stores for Latino customers, last year. Albertsons said it has $59.7 billion in annual sales. Rite Aid reported revenue of $32.8 billion in its most recent fiscal year, which ended in March 2017. Follow Chad Bray on Twitter at ChadBray.